Minecraft gives you a world that feels endless. Mountains, oceans, deserts and forests. You can travel for hours and still find places you've never seen before. And because of that, we've always assumed something. That when we create a new world, we create a new world. But what if we don't? What if every Minecraft world we've ever created is actually part of the same one? This is the story of a player named Elias, and how one cabin made him question everything he knew about Minecraft. Elias had been playing his Minecraft survival world for months now. He'd built a house, explored the Nether, defeated the Ender Dragon, and eventually reached that point where there wasn't much left to do. So, he started exploring. He travelled further than he'd ever been before, looking for somewhere new to build his base. And after travelling for hours, he found a cabin. It wasn't a village house, it wasn't a structure generated by Minecraft. It was clearly player built. There was a small farm outside, a furnace, a crafting table, a bed and some chests. But there was one problem. Elias was playing single player. Nobody else had ever played in this world, so who built it? At first, Elias assumed that he'd simply forgotten about it. Maybe he built the cabin months ago and couldn't remember. But when he opened the chest, that explanation disappeared. Inside were supplies Elias had never collected before. Iron, food, tools, and a book. The book was almost empty. There were only a few pages of writing. The first one said, "I found this place while exploring." The second, "I don't remember building it." And the final page, "If you're reading this, you found it too." Elias didn't know what that meant. But then he noticed something different. There was a trapdoor underneath the bed. That trapdoor then led to a basement. The further Elias went, the less the place looked like a generated structure. Someone had deliberately built down here. There were rooms, books, redstone and maps, and also notes covering the walls. Whoever had lived in this cabin wasn't just surviving. They were investigating something. Elias then found maps covering just one wall. At first, they looked completely unrelated. Different forests, different mountains, different oceans. But when he looked closer, he noticed something. Some of the maps connected. A river continued from one map onto another. A mountain appeared on both. And in the distance of one map, there was the same cabin Elias had just discovered. Someone had been mapping this world, and they had found far more than Elias had. Elias searched through the rest of the underground rooms. Eventually, he found another book. This one contained lots of pages. The player who wrote in it had spent months documenting strange locations, abandoned houses, mines, structures that shouldn't have been there, places they claimed they had never visited before. But one sentence appeared again and again. "They're not different worlds." Elias kept reading. The player had noticed something about Minecraft's coordinates. Whenever a new world is created, your coordinates start from a point that the game treats as the center of your world. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's the center of the overworld. Then, the player had started asking a question. What if the coordinates we're given aren't absolute? What if they're only telling us where we are, relative to where we started? It sounded impossible until Elias found the final entry. The final page contained 3 sets of coordinates. The first led to the cabin, the second led somewhere else Elias had never been, and the third was marked the proof. Elias decided to follow them. He travelled through forests, across rivers, over mountains, and eventually he found another entrance underground. This place was different from the cabin. It was much larger. Someone had been building here for a long time. There were machines everywhere. Maps covered a wall, and in the centre of the room was a strange machine. It looked like the player had been trying to combine Minecraft's coordinate system with the locations shown on their maps. Elias found one final book beside it. There was only one sentence. "If I'm right, this machine should tell me where I really am." Elias turned the machine on. Nothing happened at first. Then, the lights came on. One by one, the machine began calculating, and eventually a set of coordinates appeared. But they weren't Elias' coordinates. They were enormous, far larger than anything he'd ever seen, and underneath them was another message. "Global position found." Elias stared at the screen. Then he looked at the maps. The maps weren't showing different worlds. They were showing different places, different parts of the same enormous world. The cabin wasn't in another world, it was simply somewhere else. And if the research was correct, every Minecraft world anyone had ever created was somewhere else too. Elias finally understood what the previous player had discovered. When you create a Minecraft world, you aren't necessarily creating another universe. You're simply being placed somewhere. A starting point, a tiny location inside something much bigger. Your coordinates tell you where you are relative to that starting point. Another player's coordinates could be exactly the same, while being millions of blocks away from you. Which means every player could be living on the same overworld. Millions of worlds, millions of players, one planet. Elias then returned to the cabin. He wanted to know what had happened to the player that discovered all of this before him. But there was nothing. No body, no final message. Nothing explained where they went, only their research and one final coordinate. Elias entered it into the machine. The screen began calculating again. Then, a message appeared. "Player detected." Elias froze. The machine wasn't detecting him. It had already detected his location. This was someone else. Far away, millions of blocks away. Someone else was out there. Another player, living in the same overworld. Elias stared at the screen. He wondered, how many of us are actually out there? Anyway guys, thank you very much for watching this video. Please let me know in the comments what your thoughts were. I'd love to hear them. If you did enjoy this video, then please make sure to smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video.